Well, welcome to your friendly podcast. Do you want lunch? Damien, how did you enjoy Face Off? With two of the greatest actors that have ever graced the silver screen.
Indeed, I have to say that it was in fact a work of genius.
Yeah.
I thoroughly fucking enjoyed myself from start to maybe the halfway mark.
Yeah, it's a testament to how my cinema appetite has changed, because at one time when I was 8 I would have loved Face Off. Face Off would have been the same thing as Pulp Fiction to me at one time, right? I would not have seen how those two films are different. And then I guess when I was growing up and becoming informed about the world, I would have considered Face Off a dreadful film. And now Face Off is definitely in my top 10%, because I look at films all the time now which are just made without any sort of joy or competence at all.
Mm-hmm.
Damien's never seen Face Off until this morning. Who watches Face Off in the morning?
Those who are indebted to do so. I agreed to do this show, and we agreed that we would talk about this movie. So
let's just tell the truth. You finished watching Face Off about 2 minutes before we started recording.
If I hadn't been working, that definitely would have been the case. Yes, I have no shame in saying that. But alas, I had to go to work first, so I made sure to finish up 2 minutes before I had to go to work, before I came back.
In fairness, a lot of people do forget that Face Off is 3 hours and 42 minutes long.
It is. It was surprisingly lengthy. I kind of thought, considering its fucking nuts premise, it would have been quite a nice tight 90 minutes that I could just kind of deal with. But as soon as I put it on, I thought, fucking hell, this is going to require attention. I'm not sure if I've got it. I'm not sure if I got it in me.
Can you believe that Hollywood managed to produce a film over 2.5 hours long that doesn't have protracted scenes of people staring at nothing with some piano music in the background? I'm sure there is a bit of that in Face Off, actually, but it's quite funny. Everything about Face Off is funny.
Yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I knew I was onto a winner when you've obviously got... I mean, the carousel with right at the beginning with John Travolta is kind of nuts in and of itself, but when you get that first shot of Nicolas Cage, it's a nice extreme close-up there, and he starts engaging this milkshake that he's got, presumably a milkshake, but I don't know why. But he engages the straw into his mouth in kind of, I don't know, maybe it's what I'm imbuing it with, but in an overtly sexual way, with the most fantastic fake moustache I've ever seen. And I thought, right, that's it. I am in for this now.
Well, saying that, have you seen Neil Breen's fake moustache in his upcoming film?
What was it? Twisted Pair? I've seen that. That is, it's a beard as well, isn't it? It's not just a moustache.
I don't know, but I only looked at the moustache in the few seconds I saw of it. Because it was
if I saw any more, it was going to it might permeate further into my mind.
It was like Play-Doh that has had lines drawn into it. Like, do you remember Gimme Gimme Gimme? That old sitcom.
No, let me just look quickly.
There's a scene in there. It's about these two people who live together. One of them has no chest hair, so they decide to draw on their own chest hair.
Right, okay.
But in a blue biro, no less. But it's kind of like that. Like, you might as well have just drawn that on with biro.
Yeah, no, it's some fucking cheap shit, but it's what you kind of expect from, Neil Breen.
No, but it's extra deranged. It is deranged. No, seriously, it is deranged. It's not just like a bad prop. Anything would have been better. A joke shop mustache would have been better. That you can buy for like $1.
Yeah, I mean, it's ludicrous, but it's also kind of not... It wasn't anywhere near as shocking, having seen... I've only seen Double Down, but after that, I've kind of got a good sense of what he's about and what he's capable of achieving. And that is kind of falls within that, that criteria. It wasn't that shocking, but had it been something, a borderline kind of logical decision, I think that would have stood out to me much more.
Yeah, well, you mean kind of like, well, that's passable. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it was anywhere near competent, I think that would have been far more kind of groundbreaking for me.
He had a drone in the last one. Okay, well, let's get back onto Face Off, because you need to explain to the listener what you mean by John Travolta on his carousel.
Okay.
With a boy in front of him, no less.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was. obviously it's kind of revealed later that that's his son, but I don't know, when you see John Travolta lurking over this child in a playground, and you see him, he gives him a kiss on the cheek. I know, I kind of clocked that this, they would kind of reveal this fact that in the framework of the movie that would be his son. For me, that was still quite an uncomfortable moment. I mean, John Travolta still nevertheless kissed that child.
There is a bit of child kissing in this, isn't there? I think we should let that be known to anybody who's thinking about watching this. There's a bit of child play. What? No, I can't. No.
Oh my God, no! You can't use that word. That definitely there's a bit of a stink when you say something like that.
No.
Well, I mean, what were the parents like? On set, and they kind of hand their child off to John Travolta.
Say John Travolta would be kissing my child.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, are they briefed on that? I mean, even so, if you're prepared and when you actually see a grown man kiss your child,
and then when you act outraged, John Woo floats over and he says, "Oh, you do not know. You are just the parents of the child. This is artistry, and sometimes artistry makes you want to kiss a child on the lips, or on the mouth, or on the head." That's
how you're French.
Yeah, that's what John Travolta was doing. He was Frenching the back of the kid's head.
Jesus Christ. So, naturally, Nicolas Cage takes it upon himself, sees this.
Okay.
That is fucking revolting, and tries to put John Travolta down.
Oh, one of them, please. Just one of them die. So John Travolta's on a carousel with his kid, which is a bit weird anyway. And then Nicolas Cage, who plays Castor Oil, a bad man, comes along and shoots John Travolta through the back. The bullet from his sniper rifle goes through John Travolta's lung and into his kid's head. We don't see that bit. But then that's okay, because the whole performance from John Travolta around that is unbelievable and surreal, so it makes it fine again. It's like, oh no, this isn't a kid. This hasn't really happened. This isn't a real event. This is just a John Woo film. Thank God.
What I quite liked is you mentioned sniper rifle, which of course it was, but the setup, I don't know if with the shots and what have you. I just got the impression that Nicolas Cage was no more than like 30 feet away from John Travolta. It was like a wildly unnecessary choice of weapon.
Yeah. I also got that impression. It's kind of like he could have just gone up to him and clipped him in the head.
Yeah. Well, anything would have been. I feel more suitable than that. But there you go.
So I guess what makes Face On fun is that there are a lot of, I wouldn't really call bizarre choices, just extremely over the top, and I don't give a fuck in a way I kind of respect choices. For example, the incredibly long scene where they're chasing each other on speedboats. You don't get films like this anymore where you can say stuff like that. Where they're chasing each other on speedboats. Where they're doing the speedboat chase, and then there's an explosion, and both men fly into the air, and it's in slow motion, and you can see that they're both doubles, but they're not doubles. The guy playing John Travolta is like 250 pounds. He looks like Reggie from Nintendo.
Yeah, of course.
And the other guy is just like a white man with brown hair.
I've got to say,
the only way he is similar to Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, the choice of doubles, I noticed that on quite a few occasions, is fantastic. I know there's a pretty egregious one where Nicolas Cage jumps off the oil rig and somehow doesn't fucking shatter both his legs. The guy that, the stunt double is obviously it's a vastly different human being in almost every aspect.
Both stunt doubles look different in terms of facial features and hair, but also they've got different bodies. They didn't even get body doubles. And like I say, I kind of like this film more for that, because I just get the impression John Woo is just there like, whatever, yeah, that's fun, yeah, whatever. I don't care. What do you mean
it's 12 hours to put this together? Come on, guys.
What do you mean it's running 40 minutes over? Who cares? Fuck it. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to libel anyone or anything, but there must have been a lot of blow going around that set. Because it is just so fucking out there.
It must have been a party set, yeah.
You'd hope. But then again, we thought that about Mario, and apparently Mario wasn't like that.
One thing I did enjoy about this movie, obviously it sets up its ludicrous
what was the
pretense?
What's the story about? Yeah, well, we haven't even talked about the story.
It's no.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Uh,
I
pe-
mean,
pe-
people
pe-
fucking
people
know.
It's called Face Off, for fuck's sake. Jesus, work it out. It's about a man who has his face on because he's lost his face.
It's genius because, wordplay, face-off, because it's two men showing down, face-off, like face-off fighting, face-off. But the thing is, they take their faces off. That's it, It's two double barrel, fucking hell. John Woo, two guns, double barrel, wordplay.
Right, and listen, you're only thinking on one level if you're thinking about them taking the face off, literally, right? It's not face off, literally face off. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's about the concept. It's about the concept of face off.
Face on, face on. And then finally, at the end of the movie, face off, switch, face on again, original.
The original. I was saying that John Travolta would have been a great Captain Kirk. No, seriously, can you not see it? Because he's quite fun, but he can act as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's the whole pack. I mean, not well, but he's as well. But he's the whole package.
Sorry, you're going on record as saying John Travolta is the whole package.
Yeah. He's got it all.
That's right, internet. Come get me.
Yeah. He has the whole package. He is the whole package.
Well, yeah, you remember when they're in the doctor's office and they have like the CG kind of framework of John Travolta's body? You can see the whole package.
I don't remember
albeit
that.
for a flash of a second. Well, I made sure to go back and check frame by frame.
But I do remember the whole back and forth where John Woo was very careful to cover all the science. He definitely didn't want people to be in the cinema saying, this is ridiculous. So you've got a doctor there saying, and what we'll do, Nick Cage, because he was briefing Nick Cage, and what we'll do, Nick Cage, to make you look like John Travolta is we'll put you on a whey diet where you'll be eating about 8,000 calories a day, and whilst you're eating, I'll be inserting hair into your shoulders. Because there's various things they try to explain, like facial structure and I think a bit of body type and stuff. But did John Woo not know that people's hands look different? Like, I can identify people by their hands, especially you.
Yes,
Your disgusting hands. Like a fucking mole that's been using its hands all day and it doesn't have any nails left. Ah, kill it.
Oh, thank you very much. My nails really that bad? I knew I had like very fucking spindly bone fingers, but my nails are terrible.
Yeah, because you
fucking
cut them down, and I shouldn't even be looking at another man's hands.
I do like chew on my fucking hands all day. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Makes sense.
Oh, well, that's grim.
It is grim.
They're always red. They always look like they need another layer of skin on them.
They do need another layer of skin on there. They spent a lot of time fucking launched into fucking deep fries and shit like that.
Going in and out of birds.
A lot of layers of skin on these hands.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hold them up to the light, you can kind of see through them a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, the whole thing about these two people passing off as each other is ludicrous.
Yes, yeah. Back to the hand thing. There was a fucking wonderful shot right at the end where Nick Cage retrieves his wedding ring from John Travolta's hands, right? And I never realised, but fucking John Travolta's got a right pair of fucking meaters, right? He's got
of course he has.
massive
Look at him, he's like
sausage
fucking
meat.
Bob Hoskins.
Nicolas Cage just fucking slips it right the fuck on, but you can see that he has to kind of keep his fingers kind of like clasped together to hold it on, otherwise it would just fucking drop.
I guess it's just another manifestation of they bumped into each other, they had an argument, then there was some lightning, and their brains got transferred, right? It's just that. It's just like, it might as well be John Travolta is this 40-year-old FBI guy and Nicolas Cage is his 16-year-old son. I would love to see that. And they swap.
Yeah, so we're talking about a reboot of Freaky Friday, basically. We can totally fucking do that.
Is Freaky Friday with Jamie Curtis?
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Have you seen that?
No. I know of it.
I know. Oh, of course not.
Of course not. No. I definitely wouldn't go on record in this public forum. I would never out myself as a fan of that movie, let alone even see it.
I mean, no one was using the word fan. I just asked if you'd seen it, not if you were the mod on the Jamie Lee Curtis in that film Reddit. I had to say in that film because I can't remember what we're talking about. Parents.
Look at you digging yourself out of that fucking hole. Very, very shrewd. Well done.
Where am I? I have hypoglycemia. It's a lot of fun. I think if someone could do a supercut of it where they got it to 100 minutes, it would just be rollicking.
Well, you've issued the internet the challenge, so we'll see what happens. I gotta say, I really did quite enjoy it. One of the first things that I kind of said to myself as I was watching, because I obviously knew what the premise was, and it's like, surely, if you couldn't just switch faces, right? That would in no way fool anyone other than gore two people. And I think when they started breaking down the sign, so here's what we're going to do: is John Travolta, we're going to give you an abdominoplasty. So just to kind of take off the fucking, the spare tire, and you'll pass for Nick Cage
without a shadow of fucking doubt.
One of them has a tire. One of them has a receding hairline. Together they are
laser block.
Oh well, yeah. Sorry, you were talking about Face Off or something.
I did like all the other kind of hokey kind of sci-fi technologies that they would kind of slap in there. I liked whatever the fucking the torture mind-wiping device they had at the prison was. What I really quite liked was the fucking Mario boots they had in the prison.
Yeah, straight out of Red Dwarf, or maybe vice versa.
I mean, no, surely, like, the Mario Brothers movie was made around about the same time, right? But that looks like it's straight off the fucking set.
It does look. Yes, it does look like that. They do look.
And
cheap.
they've got the same. They've got the same fucking jumpsuits on. Albeit these are like a nice pallid grey now.
And not only that, do you remember Escape Plan? Yes. What didn't Escape Plan owe a lot to this movie? Do you remember Escape Plan?
Oh fuck no! I remember like the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, and I slept through the rest of it.
They end up in a super prison, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, because Sylvester Stallone is the guy who designed the prisons, so they want him to go to prison so he can't get out, very Egyptian style. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is a guy who knows that capitalism is bullshit. And as soon as he gets back to the mainland, he's going to start telling people, and that knowledge is going to fucking spread. And, oof, Damien, the 1%, they're quivering in their fucking jodhpurs.
Oh, okay.
It is like that. But there's a lot that film owes to this, especially we're in a super secure prison, but it's actually not very secure at all. Everyone just sits around talking. And I seem to remember in Escape Plan, it's an oil tanker. And in Face Off, the reveal is, it's an
oil rig, isn't it?
It's an oil rig, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, we're at sea, basically. It's still not as good as finding out that you're in space.
Well, kudos for John Travolta as Nick Cage, who managed to swim to land from the oil rig.
Yes, despite there being loads of security around, we see a boat. It shows us him falling to his death from the oil rig into the sea, and a boat pulling up as if to like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to drag his body out of the water, not another one. And then it just cuts to him being free. Like, how did he outswim that boat?
I mean, I don't know this, but maybe you do. Well, typically, like, how far offshore do they build oil rigs? It's got to be quite a long...
50, 60 yards sometimes. More than a man can swim.
Yeah. It's incredible fucking endurance. And obviously these are seas, so the water is most likely going to be hypothermic after, after a fairly short period of time.
Yeah.
And he's just there in his dungarees, his jumpsuit.
Yeah, because they say that most people who jump off the Golden Gate Bridge don't die immediately. I mean, very few people die from most things immediately, but when you hit the water, your legs break and you probably break some ribs. And then most people who jump from bridges, from tall bridges, they drown, and they drown in a lot of pain and they can't move. And maybe that should have been the second act.
It's just a very protracted fucking sequence of Nick Cage just hovering in the water with an unparalleled look of sheer fucking terror in his eyes as he can't do anything to save himself.
But here's the thing, I don't mind any of that. And I don't mind this, but what really interests me isn't the kind of, the silly, and then he jumps from a building and he's still fine. It isn't that. It's more the kind of, implication that this is how the FBI works. They watch a suspect get into a private plane, watch the suspect shut the door of the private plane, watch the plane gear up on the runway to take off, and then it's like, all right, wait for it, go, and then their whole strategy is, we're going to drive at this plane, we're going to drive at this jet, and
not only that, it's just like, all right, so John Travolta's there in suspiciously a Jeep rather than any kind of regulation police vehicle. So, all right, I need to get a head start. I'm going to have to go down the runway because there's no road access otherwise. So I'm going to have to go up there first, turn around, wait till I'm up there, and then we're going to fucking go for it. All right, we're going to do this thing. Well, I'm slightly behind, but I will take the plane head on solo.
Back to John Travolta in his corner office, and people are coming up to him and like, tough break on the case. Didn't I just see 12 of my colleagues die?
Yeah, I mean, that would put you out of commission for a long time, right?
I'd love it if it was like that, if it was a bit more serious, but the same thing happened. Why did they all have to die? And John Travolta's like, I don't care.
You go straight to a debrief. You'd probably be,
you'd be bollocks.
Potentially incarcerated, but you'd have to deal with therapy for God knows how. You know, if they rule that it wasn't your fault, you'd have to deal with potentially PTSD and all kinds of shit like that. You'd be under a microscope for such a long time after something like that.
What's going to happen if you let the plane take off? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go that you don't know where they go? And if they fly out of the country, which I don't see how they could, what, they're going to land in Mexico, and what, the Mexican authorities are going to be like, yeah, no problem. No problem. We don't have any sort of extradition deal at all with the US now. No problem. Yeah, come here with your fucking drugs and your crazy hair, Nicolas Cage. Or John Travolta as Nicolas Cage. Especially we should talk about that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie quite a lot, particularly when I saw Nicolas Cage chewing the fucking scenery at large. Then I realised the premise kind of caught up with me again. I realised this is what John Travolta's going to be doing in a bit. I'm not sure I can take that. The premise essentially is Nicolas Cage does a bit less, and John Travolta does way the fuck more than usual. Right? Because John Travolta's got the easy job. John Travolta just has to act like some movie star on coke. You know, anyone can do a Nicolas Cage impression, but Nicolas Cage has to be John Travolta. Yeah, no, Nicolas Cage's job is to kind of be up there as normal, but he's got to kind of act like a almost borderline normal human being. Yeah. Which is, for him, I imagine, was quite a fucking deal.
Yes, I mean, John Travolta has the easier job, which I guess goes to show how little Nicolas Cage's performance ever changes. Bless
Your job
him.
is to be you got to be Nicolas Cage. Fine, that's effortless. All I got to do is fuck around.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if I have anything more to say other than the obvious thing of this film is at least as deep, if not more deep, than Inception. Because every scene you're thinking, oh no, what's Nicolas Cage doing? Probably something mad. It's Nicolas Cage. But no, it's John Travolta playing Nicolas Cage. But that's just the pretext of the movie. It's still Nicolas Cage. But what were they thinking when they filmed this? Is it Nicolas Cage, or is it John Travolta? Was John Travolta narrating and they just turned that audio channel off? Anything could have happened. And then I started to think, well, who is who? And then I jumped out of a window.
And I'm talking to you now from the emergency room.
And I'm talking to... I jumped out of a really tall window, 12 stories, and I'm still on the way down.
The way they handle it is it's just so over the top and just so naff. They didn't go in the direction that I thought. It's just skin crawlingly bad. My other favourite was when they're showing down at the church and then somewhere else. I can't know. I couldn't really keep up. And for whatever reason, in the middle of this clearing, they have this upright mirror on. It's a mirror on both sides, and they both stood back to back to it, and they quickly turn around, they obviously with their guns, and they point to each other, but obviously they don't see each other because they've got mirrors in between them. They're looking at each other, they're looking at their reflection, right? So it's they're shooting each other's down, but are they actually shooting themselves? And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, and it really lingers on
and
that.
It has that fabulous John Woo fucking slow-mo where it's just like fucking 8 frames per second. It's like, oh fucking hell. I swear to God,
they didn't think to get a slow-mo camera in for that day. They just went, oh, we'll just record it as normal and then we'll slow it down in the edit. Fuck it.
You know.
That never works.
I swear to God, they could not have crammed more fucking birds into that church when they turn up for that funeral.
I guess I don't want to call it an honest film or anything like that. I don't think it's clearly not good, but I don't think it's even ironic. Okay? I don't think it's trying to be shit. But what I do like about it is, again, I don't think it's an honest film, but it feels way more honest when it's just like, oh, and then his son died and it was really sad. Anyway, fuck that. You don't care about that. Explosions!
Oh, no.
I guess
it's fun, basically. It's kind of it was engineered for fun.
I guess it's engineered for fun, and I guess this film isn't really trying to pretend it's anything else. I'm not saying it knows it's shit, but it's not trying to be like, yeah, this is an action film with some really deep moments. No, it's just, it's just what it is. And I think with not all, but a lot of new stuff, they try to have these airs of saying, oh no, there's a lot more to us really as well. And there isn't. Of course there fucking isn't. All the other stuff is just set dressing. The emotions, the characters, it's just set dressing. We just want to get, from action piece to action piece. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just, I like Face Off because it doesn't dress it up, and there's no filler in Face Off at all.
No, it's pretty fucking. I don't want to say lean. It's a long movie, but it's pretty pacey.
Yeah, no, it's pretty beefy. There's a lot that goes on. It's not like they ran out of money and thought, oh well, we better extend this scene by, 50% or anything like that. It really does feel like someone said, I'll do a movie for you, but there has to be a chase on water, and there has to be this, and there has to be this, and there has to be a bizarre scene where John Travolta kisses a baby.
That's my writer. I mean, particularly that last one. That has to be in there.
That has to be in it. I'm not going to eat any M&Ms unless they're blue, and John Travolta has to kiss a fucking baby. I don't care where, and I don't care what the baby's doing or what the baby looks like.
Sorry, Mr. Weir, you just kind of changed the term. You said child at first. Now you're specifying baby. Is this
sperm.
Crucial?
Sperm is where we're going.
Right, okay. He just has to drink litres of it. Litres and fucking litres of it. It's going to be a very close shot, unadulterated, no cuts. It's gonna really linger on, right? We're going to watch him tackle the lot.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to film it. I just want it to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to release it, but I will film it for the archives, personal archives. Let me collect my collection.
Oh, let me be honest with you whilst I'm being honest with you. I might release it a bit.
I might, maybe, in years.
To a few friends.
Only at parties. I know. I can see it now. Credits, milk challenge. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it milk challenge. John Travolta, can you drink this in 3 minutes? He runs up to the camera, all fucking giddy. He's like, I bet you I can't drink this in 3 minutes. And he does. We're at the back, we're throwing biscuits at him. Nothing is fucking shaking him. He's going for it. He's putting it back. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, we've already done it. We've already shot this. I don't know why I'm trying to make these demands. It's already happened. Do you want to see? You just go back to my trailer. I've already got it fucking queued up in the VCR. Let's do it. All right? A couple of beers. All right? Let's go.
40 minutes ago, I unironically like John Travolta, both as an actor and person. Now, wouldn't it be great if John Travolta drank cum for our entertainment?
At least 3 litres, all right? Where do we settle on the quantity? Where can we get that much on short demand? We've got to do this by the end of, we wrap this evening. We've got like fucking 12 hours. Can you get us that much jizz in that much in that amount of time? We've got the camera set up, all right? We're good to go. Don't waste any time. You already know what you got to do.
I'll be honest with you. I've got a union crew on standby. Don't fuck around, all right? I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really kind of coming here to float the idea. It's more of a yes or no thing now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, okay. I guess that's probably the longest we've gone without mentioning cum, either. Cum is a thing that exists in the world.
Mm. Well, I'm sure I'm overdue for another shit story as well, but
Yes, it's only been about an hour in terms of podcast minutes. Do you have one?
No, not really. But I do have a question for you because my girlfriend gets on my case about the state of the toilet, and it's not in like any kind of anything too distressing, but I seem to shit slightly to the left all the time.
Here's an idea, Damien. Why don't you just get loads of toilet roll and shit in your hand and then put that in the toilet?
Okay. Am I still obliged to sit?
No, you're not obliged to do anything. You're not obliged to be in the same room, are you?
Well, no. Am I still obliged to sit
do
on the
it
toilet,
while you're frying some bacon or something?
Okay. So if I kind of engineer the toilet roll as a sort of mitt.
I mean, I'm not saying that. If you could make a diaper if you want.
No, I like mitt because I mean already I can. We got shit mitts, right? That's a pattern right there.
Shit,
I always fancied myself as an entrepreneur.
Shit and mittens are already patented.
They are?
Yes, I looked it up once.
Oh, fucking hell. You've broken my heart.
What about that clagnut thing where you...
you shit in a milk bottle.
You
lob it at someone's house.
You...
That's right. Actually, I've got to say, that's really showing our fucking age, because I don't imagine you get a lot of glass milk bottles anymore. We come from an era and place where they used to deliver milk door to door.
I never imagined it in a glass milk bottle. I always imagined it in a plastic one, and you'd just throw it, and it would leave a trail, like a rocket.
No, it is foul.
No, that thing that you can do where you turn your bike upside down and you put some bristles on it, and then you cycle your bike.
Is this after the act of shitting or during? So is this something to kind of...
No, it's after. It's after.
Or something designed to fucking fire it off in a very offensive manner.
Hang on.
Almost weaponizing my own ass.
If I type in clagnut remover... Yeah, here it is. You never seen this?
Is it clagnut or clagnut?
It's actually called Pedal Away Those Tagnut Blues with Clag-Gon.
Well, that's got to be the fucking thumbnail for this week's episode.
Where in your house would you put such a thing? In the barn, hopefully, really, wouldn't you?
I'd put this square in front of the fucking couch, in between the couch and the TV.
No, you'd have to have a special wall that you could clean.
Oh yeah, no, I can put a tarp up against the wall, the adjacent wall. That's fine. Or would you? It depends which way you pedal, because otherwise,
Well, I'll spin it the other way then.
Yeah, all right. I'll keep the top on the adjacent wall.
Or maybe you could just do it like that, like he's doing, completely bottomless, and then just get into the shower. And why not just shit in the shower? I guess if you're gonna do this, just have a shit in the shower, like my friend used to do at college, and just stamp it down the drain.
Oh my god, that can't be fucking true.
You know people are weird when you go into their home and they have more than 18 empty bottles of orange soda.
Yeah, and this is what was fucking running around this guy's house, was it? My god, that would make a mess of your fucking insides.
He didn't have a house, he had a room. Yeah, the only thing you could see under his bed, because it was just a room, like a student room, and under his bed, all it was empty orange soda bottles, like big 2-liter ones, and completely used toilet roll cores.
Used toilet roll?
Like not used, like he didn't have shit on them.
No. So I made the assumption that he was using the toilet roll cores the way you said that. For what diabolical purpose?
He was creating a wife.
No, I thought you meant as a sort of shit funnel. When he goes, he just kind of holds it, betwixt his cheeks and just fires it out. That way, it keeps it in a precision blast into the toilet or shower, as it turns out. Because you don't want to get it on the walls of the shower. You'd have to use someone's loofah for that. So yeah, I suppose credit to him, because that does that demonstrates some kind of consideration for his fellow flatmates. And I can't, you can't begrudge.
He had his own.
Too much of that.
He had his own stuff.
He had his own shower? Or...
Yeah, he had his own shower. Yeah, it was just like a student room, like a room with a... it was an ensuite, but it was a single room. Like a very small room.
Well, then I respect that more. That shows like self-discipline. You know,
Yeah.
he's doing it for himself rather than for others. That's So he's not completely off the fucking rails. There's hope for him yet.
No, I mean his lifestyle really contributed to the lifestyle of the other students in the same block because they had a shared kitchen, which was absolutely spick and span because he obviously never went in there. You know, I don't think people know how lucky they are only having to pay 30 grand for a basic bitch degree. Because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity and experience. You know, the whole college thing, you know, sitting alone, eating alone, it's great.
A wild endorsement from you there.
Yeah.
I feel like I very much dodged a bullet.
Yeah, social studies was great. Revolution. Do you have anything else to say about Face Off? Oh, what about Face Off 2?
There's Face Off 2.
They're going to do a Face Off 2, yeah. Seriously, I know you don't believe it, but yes, they are. They're that hard up.
I'm trying to legitimize this claim because part of me.
But
it's
Face
Off 2018.
But if it isn't called Face of 2, FACEOFTWO, they have missed the fucking trick. No? Face of 2. Face Off 2. Face of 2. Patent pending.
Ah, I see. Yeah. I see.
Really? Okay. No, it's okay. How would they do it?
They get the same two actors back. They cut their
would
faces
they?
off. Do exactly the same movie, but with two older kind of shagged out dudes. They're like, oh.
Well, there you go. That's some thoughts about Face Off. See you next week where we'll be talking about some other shit, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Bye.
You want this game?
I want it.
You want this game?
I want it.
You want this game?
I want it.
You want
What the heck?